Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show. It's going to be a two shows into one, a Marvel 2-in-1 if you will, as I ran out of time this morning to be able to do one. Certain young gentlemen may have kept me up through the night, but yeah. I'm here anyway to take you through everything that's new into the store this week in terms of graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, all the rest, but also to take you through all the single issues that are going onto the racks this week as well. Pull lists are of course all organised and ready for collection, so pop in whenever suits to get those sorted, but this is just everything going out on general sale. So it's a pretty, with regards to the new stuff in this week, graphic novels and so forth, it's pretty heavy on the hardcovers, the omnibuses, the compendiums, but lots and lots of really good stuff here. So we'll kick things off here with Fables. So the compendium volume 1 back in stock. We've got volume 2, 3 and 4 on the shelf, so it was bugging me that we didn't have volume 1. But back in stock this week. Every single one of these will always contain a really large glut of issues. So with this one, you've got issues 1 to 41, plus a couple of one-shots along the way as well. So pretty definitive way to get yourself into Fables. Back in stock this week is Nightwing Leaping into the Light, so the first hardcover of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's run, which we're always exceptionally heaping praise upon because it's class. So you have that. A big one in this week is the Batman Hush Saga Omnibus. So as you can see, this is a chunky boy. So as well as the original Hush run, which of course is issue 608 to 619 from the Batman run, you've also got everything linked to it. So things like Heart of Hush from Paul Dini is all included here. The extra special mini story that was added to the 20th anniversary edition, all this kind of stuff. So for this big bad boy, you've got the Hush issues from Batman 608 to 619, 685. You've got issues from Gotham Knights. You've got issues from Detective Comics. You've got issues from Streets of Gotham. A Hush interlude from Wizard Zero, and then, as I say, that short story, The Aftermath, which was created for the 20th anniversary edition. So definitive edition for one of the best Batman runs, of all time. So we move away from there and on to the next pile of goodness. So first of all, we have Superman Warworld Saga. So this is a recent storyline done through Action Comics. Phil Kennedy Johnson wrote it. You have Daniel Sampere on art and Riccardo Federici. This is basically seen as one of the best Superman stories of recent times. It collects here the Action Comics 1030 to 1046 as well as the annual. You've also got some future state stuff in here, Action Comics annuals, Warworld Apocalypse one-shots. Pretty definitive again. I mean, I have had a few people ask why this is in a compendium type form as opposed to like the omnibus for Batman. I can't give you an answer to that, but what I will say is I think this will get into more people's hands than Hush will, for the simple reason that it's more affordable. The Hush Saga Omnibus is 135 quid. Now that's the RRP on it, we sell it at 120. With the Superman Warworld Saga, you're talking £55, and this includes almost as much material, to be honest. So DC seem to be going down this route of doing a few more of the compendiums as opposed to just putting everything in omnibus form. And as I say, it might mean that it gets into the hands of more people. So yeah, Warworld Saga there. On some trade paperbacks, we have Love Everlasting. So this is the Tom Keane, Elsa Charretier love story / time travel story. Genuine head scratcher type of thing. It's been 2 volumes so far, and this is the second of 2. So this brings you all the way up to issue 10. We have Declan Shelby's collection of Alien Thaw come out. So Declan is writing this, and Dre Ricardo on art. If you like The Thing, which why wouldn't you? If you like Alien, which why wouldn't you? There's a combination of the two. Really good stuff. Self-contained 5-issue miniseries collected in trade. Next up, we have the very end of the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run in trade paperback. So when it came to volume 2 of Chip's stuff, they were calling it Daredevil and Elektra as opposed to just Daredevil. So this is the Red Fist Saga Part 3, and this brings it to an end up to issue 14 of Chip Zdarsky's run. Marco Cicchetto's was the artist on that. You have Spider-Man 8 to 11, so Spider-Man Who is Spider-Boy. This continues on the Dan Slott and Mark Bagley series. You have the latest volume of Amazing Spider-Man hitting trade this week as well. This collects issues 27 to 31. One of those, of course, was a massive oversized issue, as well as material from the Free Comic Book Day 2023 series. You have Clear trade paperback out this week from Dark Horse. So this is part of the Scott Snyder run of Scottober titles that he did. This was Snyder writing and Francis Manapul on art. Futuristic, steampunky adventure, brilliant stuff, fantastic art. And again, Dark Horse have collected that in the trade paperback form. Next up, we have Star Trek Defiant, a new Star Trek series. Christopher Camwell on writing duties here, with Angel Unzueta on art. They both work together on Iron Man as well. And as they pitch it to you here, it's The Dirty Dozen meets Star Trek. So how can you not love that? A few more just to finish off with. We have Adventures of Superman John Kent. This was from Tom Taylor and Clayton Henry. 6-issue mini-series dealing with John Kent, dealing with the Injustice universe as well. And that's the entire 6-issue mini-series. We have Captain America Return of the Winter Soldier. This is the 5th and final omnibus in Ed Brubaker's saga for Captain America, arguably the definitive run on Captain America. And this brings you bang up to date with all his stuff. Collects Captain America and Bucky 620 to 628, Fear Itself, Book of the Skull, Fear Itself 7.1, Winter Soldier 1 to 14, and Captain America 11 to 19 as well. And then we finish off the new in this week with an oversized hardcover for Dead Romans. This was a book by Fred Kennedy and Nick Marinkovic. Was a complete mini-series, historical fiction. Something tells me this will sell pretty fast. I mean, if you're looking for blurbs on the back of a book, you could do a lot worse than gushing praise from Derek Robertson, Jim Zub, Chip Zdarsky, and Michael Walsh. So that is new onto the shelves this week as well. We'll move away from there and on to single issues. So I'll kick things off with variants, which there's quite a chunky lot of variants this week. So G.I. Joe is back this week, issue 301, or first issue, and in small letters, 300. It's basically the perfect jumping on point for people going on to G.I. Joe. It's going to be part of this Energon universe, including Transformers, Cobra Commander, Duke, all that kind of stuff. So there is a color cover, which I'll get to in the main bulk, but you've also got the Andy Kubert black and white variant for it instead. Transformers, we were missing a couple last week, which were the 1 to 10 retailer incentives. So they're in stock this week. This is part of a connecting cover. The first 6, I believe, are going to be connecting 1 to 10s. We have an older issue in, but it was a variant that's been old for a while. It's the Sarah Frazetta variant for Vampirella Dead Flowers. There's a new Alien series starting this week as well. So as well as the cover A's, which we'll show you off in a minute, we've got some variants for it as well. So you've got the Ian Bertram variant cover, first of all, which is pretty glorious. And then you also have the Miguel Mercado variant cover for that series. There's a new one-shot anthology book out this week, Deadpool 7 Slaughters. Frank Miller doing a variant. He has, of course, been doing a rake of Marvel variants recently. Star Wars Mandalorian 6 hits this week, and you've got this gorgeous cover from local artist, local legend, John McCrae as well. Beautiful colours. I think it's Mike Spicer on colours, who normally colours Daniel Warren Johnson's work. We have the 1 to 25 for Daredevil this week, which is Adi Granoff doing this one. So retailer incentive 1 to 25. Speaking of Daniel Warren Johnson, he has done a variant cover for Wesley Dodd's Sandman, which is the release of issue 2 this week. We have The Deviant, which is a new series from James Tynion IV and Joshua Hickson on art. It is apparently a horror story set at Christmas. And this is the retailer incentive 1 to 10 variant cover by Danny. We have the 1 to 25 variant also for Detective Comics. So Liam Sharp's continuing to do these. It's going to be a series of mugshots, I believe. So Solomon Grundy this time. Star Wars Visions by Peach Momoko is out this week. We were massively shorted on our cover A's, so I've none for the racks. And but we were sent the variant, which was Stan Sakai, of course, the creator of Usagi Yojimbo. And we finish off with Detective Comics, the traditional cover B this week. Cardstock, of course, Jason Sean Alexander doing that, and again, pretty glorious. So moving on to DC. So this week we've got a new issue of Batman and Robin, up as far as issue 3 for Joshua Williamson and Simon DeMeo's father-son tale. We have Detective Comics. I've just mentioned, of course, the cover Bs and the 1 to 25s, but we also have the cover A's. Ram V, Jason Sean Alexander doing art in this one. Detective is so good at the moment. If you're not on it, jump on it. We have Green Lantern out this week, so Jeremy Adams continued on this with Sir Manico on art for that. We have a new number 1 kicking off this week for DC, which is Outsiders. You can see they're obviously Batwoman at the forefront of this one. So written by the creative team who always work together, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. So I think this is going to be really, really good. We have Speed Force, a new DC title, which is from the pages of Flash. So one for all you Flash heads. We've got the last issue of The Vigil, or is it? Because it does end with The Vigil will return. But issue 6, this is, again, I think I say this every time we have a new issue. This is the best DC series that not enough people are reading. Written by Ram V and Devmalia Pramanik on art. And then we finish off the DC stuff with cover A for the Wesley Dodds Sandman. Of course, written by Robert Venditti and art by Riley Rossmo. Moving away from there, we go on to Marvel. So I had mentioned there's a new Alien series starting. It's the same creative team that did Thaw, which was the graphic novel collection out this week. So Declan Shelby writing and Andrea Picardo on art. We have issue 5 this week of Blade, which I believe finishes off the story arc, though Blade is going to continue on past issue 5. So Brian Hill and Elena Casagrande on art for that one. You have Fantastic Four this week. We're up as far as issue 13. Ryan North continuing to write, Ivan Coelho continuing to be artist, and Alex Ross continuing to knock it out of the park with covers. We have Daredevil out this week. We're up as far as issue 3. So Saladin Ahmed has taken over, of course. Aaron Cooter on art and glorious John Romita Jr. cover. I'd mentioned Deadpool 7 Slaughter, so this is your cover A here, done by no less than Greg Capullo. Glorious cover as you would expect for that one. So that is a oversized one-shot this week. We have Immortal Thor out this week. We're up as far as issue 4. So we're continuing on here with Al Ewing writing and Martin Coccolo on art. And again, glorious Alex Ross covers. Just continues to knock them out of the park. Spine-Tingling Spider-Man is this week. So we're up as far as issue 2 of this. Again, Saladin Ahmed on writing, but Juan Ferreira on art, if you like your Spidey with a side of horror. Star Wars Dark Droids, number 4. So continuing on with the Star Wars event at the moment. Of course, all the books are tying into at the moment. So Charles Soule continuing to do this with Luke Ross and Alex Sinclair on colours. You have a new issue this week of Star Wars Mandalorian. So we're up as far as issue 6 for this. So Rodney Barnes continuing to shepherd the adaptation of the series. One for Star Wars Diehards this week, which is Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the 40th anniversary covers. So this isn't a comic per se, it's a cover collection, like a cover gallery of all the different covers that were tied into celebrating 40 years of the best Star Wars movie, don't at me, Return of the Jedi. So that's all collected in that. So again, that's not a comic per se in the traditional sense. Next up we have Superior Spider-Man, issue 1. We do have, I think, 2 more of these. Yep. So it's first come, first serve. Anybody who pre-ordered Superior Spider-Man with us has got one of these headshots. These are drawn by Nathan Stockman, a friend of the store, and he's also doing the backups for this. So he's in Marvel print, named right under Mark Bagley there. But he was kind enough to do up a bunch of these for us. Again, if you pre-ordered it, there's one in your box, but there are a couple for the racks, but very much first come, first serve for Superior Spider-Man. This was actually out last week, but again, we were massively short of copies, so in stock this week. What If Dark, The Tomb of Dracula, i.e. what if Blade got bitten by not just any vampire, but by Dracula himself. On to the indie stuff, we have Animal Pound. This is the Ashcan for the upcoming Tom King Peter Gross series. Ashcan traditionally is like a preview for it. It'll not be quite a full-size issue, but it's also not a full-size price, just a £3 issue, but it gives you a taster of what to expect from the main series. Next up we have The Cull, where as far as issue 4 for Kelly Thompson and Mattia de Ulias's series there. There's a new Dungeons and Dragons series kicking off this week, which is Dungeons and Dragons Fortune Finder. Jim Zub continuing to write on Dungeons and Dragons, while also balancing the fantastic Conan. I mentioned before about The Deviant, a Christmas story by James Tinian IV and Joshua Hickson, with Hassan Otsman El Howell and doing letters. And yeah, if you like your horror stories mixed with a little bit of Chris Kringle, that is one you're going to want. We did order pretty big on that, so there's quite a lot for the racks, because I think that's going to be a big one. Tinian's books tend to be these days. Next up we have Dutch Zero. This is from Joe Casey and Nathan Fox, over-the-top action title. This is the issue 0, kicking that off. This week sees a welcome return for Geiger, with Geiger Ground Zero. So we're continuing on the Geiger-verse. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, same creative team on that. This week sees the return of G.I. Joe, as I say, but as well as that, you've got the facsimile for G.I. Joe #1. So Real American Hero #1, but I understand some of it might come with some alternate dialogue and some slight tweaks as well. And then, as I say, we've got the G.I. Joe issue 301, or first issue. Again, perfect jumping on point if you're a new reader, but also if you're a long time G.I. Joe fan, I think you'll be happy to see it continuing and the numbering continuing as well. New Godzilla Rivals one shot this week, which is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Again, Godzilla stuff, it comes into the store, it pretty much flies straight out. This was a book that came out last week. Again, we were shorted, there is a theme here, which is Petrolhead. is a brand new #1, Rob Williams and Pi Power. This looks awesome. I had to wait myself to get a copy this week, so I will report back on that. We have a new issue this week of Spawn, so we're up as far as 347. Rory McConville continuing to write, Carlos Barberi on art. Next up is Siphon Volume 2. The first Siphon volume is in trade and it is on the shelves in the image section. This is the Volume 2, so continuing on the story there. I promise we're nearly at the end. We finish off then with Walking Dead Deluxe number 77. Robert Kirkman, of course, Charlie Adler, of course, and Dave McCaig on colours, of course. And then the only other one that's in the box here is something I've been owed for a while, which was World Tree issue 5. So the week it came out, we didn't have any for the racks. Reported missing, been waiting all this time for them to come back in. But if you're a few weeks behind and need number 5, we've got them back in stock there as well. So yeah, a pretty full-on week in terms of hardcovers, omnibuses, tons of single issues, tons of variants, all going out into the store this week. So again, pull lists are organised, ready for collection, so make sure to pop in and grab those. And outside of that, I hope this proved useful for you as always. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the store throughout the week. Until then, take it easy.